people think that entitlement is a bad thing. It's used as a derogatory adjective. But there are certain things that people should be entitled to, like having public libraries that are open at a reasonable hour, having the books in those libraries reflect the selections of the collection, the collective community. These are things that people should be entitled to, and it's not a bad thing, and they're not wrong for wanting it. This space is really, it's the culmination of lots of people working together that really understand the importance of public education. This building itself represents a real reaffirmment of the commitment that the local legislators and the people that work in education and the people that work to serve the community have for making sure that people know that we are going to do our best to give them what they need. You can rest assured is for the benefit of the community, because the community wants it. Because like I said, if they didn't want it, they wouldn't come. But yeah, there's some people that think that libraries are on their way out, but they don't know much about libraries if they think that. They certainly don't spend any time in my library. And people think that libraries are changing, but we're still doing what libraries have always done. We're serving the community. It's just the needs of the community are changing, and we have to respond.
So this is a big main library, and it was a big undertaking from the county. They were real excited to do this because they go from this little space to this big community center. And I think where we worked with them, and it's a long process, was figuring out exactly what they needed in every area of this library and sort of creating a system of shelving and that interacts well with the public. But we were working with the architect because they had a certain look they wanted to create. So when we go over there to the adult section, we dropped a lot of shelving, so you had a better view of the whole space. It was easier from a safety perspective, and it's also more welcoming. So it's just trying to look at all the different factors when you walk into a big public library like this that interacts with all types of public.
I think the best thing about this building is that we finally have a building that looks and feels and reflects the importance of what we do for the community. Because the library is very important in the lives of the community here. We are busy from open to close. We engage the community in so many ways, and a lot of the services that we provide, they depend on. So, and to be able to serve them surrounding books, for people to make a connection with the library and the trust that they have for us, it gets transmitted to the surroundings. They start to associate books with a welcoming atmosphere and with helpful people. And wow, if they're going to build this great building just to put books in it, books must be really important, right? Which is what we need the kids of this community to think, because education and literacy is what's going to really save their lives in a lot of respects.
So one of the first things we looked at was, could we reuse some of their existing shelves, like the physical shelves that were in their old library? And we took 2 or 3 surveys where we counted and we compared colors. And so throughout this library, we have about 70% of the shelves in here are their existing shelves, which saves them a ton of money, allows them to buy more computers and more furniture, and just kind of opens it up to them a little bit. And we also moved all the books for them.
A lot of the physical work. Patterson Pope did that, and their team did that, and thank God for that, because it was a tremendous job, and they did it very well.
I think the whole thing's beautiful, and I'm proud of the architects. It was Studio 2LR, and I just think it's a pretty project. We worked really hard to make it right.
If you're about to embark on a library project like the one that we just completed, probably the best piece of advice that I would give to you, number one, would be don't let the developers and the architects and the designers box you out, because you are the one that's going to be operating the facility. It's going to be your people in the space. You're going to be there every single day. You have to make sure that the space is going to work so you can do your job. There were a lot of it seems like there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and there are. Don't let your decisions be rushed, because once things happen and walls are built, it's very difficult to change that. And the most important advice that I could give you is pick good vendors. And if you need a vendor for shelving, you need to pick Patterson Pope, because they are the best. Libraries have always served the community, but the needs of the community are changing. And so libraries have to respond, because that's what we do.